Welcome to New Earth Frequency, a space for awakening souls remembering who they truly are. We are living in the time of profound transformation, where hidden truths are surfacing and human consciousness is expanding. On this channel, we explore ascension, timeline healing, hidden knowledge, and spiritual sovereignty. I share insights, reflections, and teachings to support those who are awakening and reclaiming their creator consciousness. If you feel called to truth, awareness, and inner transformation, you're in the right place.
What if the reason your life is not changing is not because you are doing something wrong, but because you are still creating from survival? Most people do. I certainly did this for most of my life. They think they are creating, but in fact, they are actually reacting to the past. And as long as you are in that state, nothing truly new can enter your life. And as you might have noticed, otherwise you would not be on this channel, humanity is going through a massive consciousness shift right now. Old systems are collapsing, timelines are diverging, and more people are beginning to remember that they are not just participants in this reality, but creators of it. So, hello my beautiful soul. I'm truly happy and honored that you're right back here with me. And in this video today, I would like to show you and share with you what creator frequency actually is, why people are still stuck in reaction mode, and how you can begin to consciously shift into creating your own reality from alignment and not survival. And I mean this not as an idea or as a trend, but as a lived, embodied experience that changes the way you relate to reality itself. So let's start with the question, what is creator frequency? And when I speak about creator frequency, I know there is many stuff out there. I am not talking about manifestation in the way it is often presented. So from what I have witnessed, so many things out there regarding manifestation is just leading people on the wrong path that will eventually end in frustration because nothing is changing in their reality. Creator frequency is not about thinking positively or forcing yourself into believing something your body cannot hold or your body cannot feel because it was dangerous in the past. So for me, creator frequency is a state of coherence. It is a state in which your thoughts, your emotions, your nervous system, most importantly, your subconscious mind and your energetic field are all simultaneously aligned in the same direction. And in that state, you are no longer reacting to reality as if it is something separate from you. Like, why is this happening to me? I cannot do anything. Life is just happening to me. No, in this state, you begin to understand that reality is responding to the frequency you are embodying. And this means that your life does not change because you want it to change, right? Because in our, conscious mind, we want things to change. We want to heal. We desire something, our biggest dreams. And it's not happening because it means that it changes only when your internal state becomes consistent, regulated, and aligned with what you are choosing. And this is exactly the moment where people are still stuck. I know this moment quite well because I was stuck so many times for such a long time. And you know what? As I'm still rising my frequency and doing quantum jumps and clearing another layer of wounds and healing this aspect and, going into this depth of my healing journey, I am stuck again because my system has to adjust, right? There are parts inside of us, identity aspects that are still grabbing tight onto this old stuff that we just try to clear and heal because they don't know it's safe, right? They don't know what. Can we surrender? Can we let go? No, that doesn't feel good. That's too dangerous. And these are exactly the periods why we get stuck. So where does this come from? Let's go deeper into this stuckness. Most people have been conditioned to live in a constant state of subtle survival, right? We all have been conditioned by childhood experiences, emotional imprints, inherited traumas, collective fear structures. And even if, you know, the life of some people look normal on the outside, right? So I don't know if you know those people. I certainly do. Like, they seemingly have no issues with money. They have no issues or problems in their love life, no issues with their health, right? Seemingly it looks like this. But their inner state is often running on patterns of fear and control and emotional suppression and hypervigilance. So let's clear this one up here, you guys. This is really important. Dysregulated people can run $1 million business and lead a company with thousands of employees, you guys. No props. You know, and if you're like me, you're thinking like, what the hell am I doing wrong? You know, I am constantly working on myself, doing this inner work, like healing and feeling all these emotions, and it looks like they got it all, right? They don't have issues with money, with health, with love life, whatever it is. But it is only because protector parts of them that had to develop really early in life, you know, usually when there was like a fragmented, hurt younger part of themselves that was so overwhelmed, so hurt, so dysregulated. These protector parts are running the show and leading the steering wheel. It is not their authentic self. It is not in regulation. It is not really aligned with their soul's mission. So even when they try to manifest, their body is in survival. The nervous system is dysregulated. And their inner parts, these hurt little parts of them, they are screaming and they are fragmented. Their subconscious is replaying the past, nothing else. And from that state, you cannot truly create in alignment, in authenticity, to really, you know, manifest the happiness, like the real unconditional love, the contentment, the security you want to have in your life. Because you can only repeat what is stored in your database, in your nervous system. And on top of that, many people are also carrying ancestral imprints, patterns of scarcity, of fear, of powerlessness that have been passed down from generation to the other generation and generation and generation. So when someone tries to create a new reality without addressing these really, really important layers, they are essentially trying to build something new on top of a very old, you know, almost like crumbling foundation. And the body does not follow words. It is really important, you know, our primal nervous system body does not understand it. It cannot think, it cannot understand our words. It can only follow what feels similar. And this is why people often fall back into the same cycles, even when they deeply desire change. So when I discovered how damn important our nervous system is, right? Because many things you see out there when you go on the healing journey, they work from the top to the bottom. You know, they start here with, you know, training your subconscious mind, like, you know, training your mind to believe something else and, you know, reversing belief systems. But it does not work. You have to start from bottom up. You know, you have to start with your body, with your nervous system, because you cannot change belief systems when your body doesn't feel it's safe to do this. So if you truly want to activate your creative frequency, you have to begin with your nervous system. This is the absolute foundation of healing, because your nervous system determines how you perceive reality. And if your body is in a state of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, you will interpret the world through a lens of threat, a lens of lack or pressure or survival, right? And from that state, your choices, your thoughts, your actions will naturally reinforce the same reality over and over again. So the question is not only, what do I want to create? The deeper question is, does my body feel safe enough to experience something different? And you can begin very simply with this. Slow down your breathing. Allow your exhale to be longer than your inhale, right? Change your breathing patterns. Bring your awareness into your body instead of staying in your thoughts. And over time, this creates a sense of internal safety, right? This is the absolute goal here, you guys. This internal safety. And I know I have a lack of that, so this is really like my core wound, right? To take all my power back and really create this internal safety that I'm not dependent on other people, on events, on what is happening to me, because I know I'm safe in here. And from that safety, and of course there are many layers to it to achieve this, right? Just to give you a starting point. But from that safety, your system becomes more flexible, right? And from this flexibility, change becomes actually possible, and also change that will last, right? And you're not fearing of losing it again. And I mean, you can feel this honestly within yourself. You feel emotionally triggered by external situations. You feel drained without clarity. You feel like life is happening faster than you can integrate. You overthink but don't feel aligned. You want to change but something keeps pulling you back. And that something is not your failure. It is your precious, most intelligent system asking for regulation, for integration and awareness. And the shift into creator frequency happens in layers. Not by force, not by control, but awareness and embodiment. And another essential layer of becoming a conscious creator is understanding that you are not a single unified identity. You are made of different inner parts, your inner beautiful family. So there are parts of you that want this expansion and freedom and growth and unconditional love and success and abundance. And there are parts of you that are there to protect you by keeping things familiar, things they know. For example, they look in the database. Oh, okay, yeah, dad was absent. Oh, yeah, dad was emotionally absent and he was never there. Oh, this must be love, right? Oh, mom always worried about losing money. Oh, yeah, this is how abundance feels like, right? So, for example, you have a part within yourself that wants to really step into your purpose, right? While another part of you feels fear and doubt and resistance. Can I even do this? Am I good enough? And if you ignore or suppress that protective part, this is really important, you guys. The protective part first needs our attention. It will continue to influence your behavior unconsciously. It will be in the steering wheel. So instead of fighting yourself, because in the beginning, we all hate our protective parts, right? We're like, oh, come on, guys, I'm ready to step in my purpose. Consciously, I'm really aware and ready for it. And then you keep me stuck here, or you block me, or you drain me. Like, what's going on here, right? But if you begin to listen and to work with them and to really get to know them, everything starts to shift, right? You can gently start by asking, what part of me is activated right now when you are feeling triggered or drained or, exhausted, whatever it might be, and what is this protector part trying to protect me from? This creates internal coherence over time. And when your inner system is no longer in conflict, different parts fighting with each other, your external reality begins to stabilize as well. And if you are interested in this inner parts work or nervous system regulation work, just, leave me a comment and then I can do a video for you if, you guys are interested. Okay, so last aspect I want to address here is, on a deeper level, everything you experience is energy. Not in a vague or abstract way, but in a very real and measurable sense, right? Your thoughts create electrical activity. Your emotions create magnetic fields. Your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, your identity all create a frequency. And this frequency is or better to say, shapes how you perceive reality and what you resonate with. And all together, they form the frequency that interacts with reality. But when we go deeper into this, we begin to realize that our energy field is not only shaped by this timeline. There can be deeper layers of connection, what we could describe as soul agreements or unconscious contracts or energetic bonds that were formed across different experiences of the soul, right, in past lives. And they can show up as repeating dynamics and patterns with certain people re-meet in this incarnation. Like these intense emotional reactions that feel almost inappropriate, right? When we meet someone or like spend time with someone, or like it feels familiar with someone you meet, or like a dynamic or a pattern, but you cannot logically explain it, what is happening here. And sometimes these are resonances from past experiences, like past lives, right? Like energetic echoes and imprints that are still active within our system. And this all include unconscious vows and, inner decisions we have made, or identities that were formed in moments of intensity. And even if you do not interpret this literally as like a past life, your system can still carry these patterns as deeply ingrained emotional and energetic memory. So activating your creator frequency also means becoming aware of what you are still energetically tied to. And this is like a big part of my work, what I do as an energetic and spiritual healer. I'm helping other souls to releasing, deleting, untying all of these energetic bonds and vows and contracts and agreements that are still tied to them, right? So you might begin to notice certain patterns repeating with specific people in your life, whether they are parents or partners or friends or colleagues or children, right? And instead of seeing this as a coincidence, you can ask yourself, what am I still energetically connected to here? And more importantly, am I ready to release this pattern? Because when your energy, your most important currency, is no longer fragmented or entangled in the past, your system becomes free, emotionally, energetically, and coherent. And from coherence, you can begin to create consciously. And as we go just a little tiny step deeper into this process, you also may to begin to realize that some of the patterns you carry did not start with you. Because many patterns live in your system because they were inherited. Fear, scarcity, emotional suppression, powerlessness. And these patterns often come from parents, from their emotional experiences, from your family system, or your ancestral lineage, from what they were able or unable to express, or from dynamics that were never resolved. And beyond that, there can be ancestral layers, inherited nervous system patterns that shaped how your nervous system responds to life. So part of becoming a creator is also becoming aware of what you are carrying that was never yours to begin with. So for me, ancestral and parental healing is one of the most rewarding, most powerful, most releasing things I could have done. So you can literally heal ancestral energy backwards for 7 generations and have a massive impact on the generations to come, 7 generations to the front. Awareness, visibility, honoring, forgiveness, humility are central aspects in this work. And acknowledging this does not mean you are stuck with it anymore. It simply means you are becoming conscious of it, right? And from that place, you can begin to choose differently. So my beautiful soul, let's finish this video with an activation of regulation, integrating, and creating. So before you try to step into a new version of yourself, we are going to do something different, right? Because we don't want to overwhelm our parts and our protective parts and our nervous system. So we are not going to jump into a future version of you. We are going back into the body first. Okay, so if you want to join me, bring your attention into this moment. Notice your breath without trying to change it. And you can gently close your eyes. Notice your body, the way it is right now. And instead of asking yourself to feel high frequency or aligned, just ask, what is actually present in me right now? Maybe there's tension, maybe there's restlessness, maybe there's pressure or even numbness. And whatever is there, you allow it to be there for a moment. Now, gently deepen your breath. Let your exhale become a little slower and a little longer. And as you do this, notice if your body softens even slightly. Even 5% is enough here. And from here, you can ask, what part of me is most active right now? Just listen. You don't need to fix anything. Just allow that part to be seen. This already shifts your system. Now from this place where your body is a little more present, a little more regulated, you can introduce a new choice. Not a big overwhelming future, just a small shift. Ask yourself, what would a slightly more regulated, grounded version of me do in this moment? Not the perfect version, not the healed version, just the next more coherent version. And feel into that. Maybe it's taking a deeper breath. Maybe it's slowing down. Maybe it's choosing a different response instead of reacting. This is creation. Not forcing yourself into a new identity, but allowing your system to experience a new state of being safely. And the more often you do this, regulate, become aware, and then choose, the more your nervous system begins to trust this new way of existing. And from that trust, your creator frequency becomes real. Not imagined, but embodied. And if you are ready, take another deep breath in and gently come back into this moment, opening your eyes. What many people call the new earth is not something that is suddenly appearing outside of you. It is this shift in consciousness that happens through every single soul who begins to embody a different frequency. A frequency of awareness, of responsibility, of inner alignment. And while not everyone is choosing this path, those who do become anchors for a new way of experiencing reality. Not through force, but through presence. And you were never meant to live your life only reacting to what happens around you. You are here to remember that your inner state matters, that your awareness matters, and that your presence has an effect on reality itself. And this is not about perfection. It is about becoming more conscious, more integrated, more aligned with who you truly are. And this is unconditional love. And if this all resonated with you today, I would love to hear from you, from what you are experiencing right now, and put it in the comments. Give me thumbs up, ring the bell, share my content with everyone you believe wants to hear this as well. And if you feel called to go deeper into this journey, you are very welcome to connect with me, to give me an email, to explore and grow in this space with me. So I just want you to know you are not alone. We are all in this together, and I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.